Hi guys, it's Sherry. I hope that you're having a wonderful day. Let's make the easiest, the coolest, the bestest box that you guys are going to see today. Stay tuned. So for those of you that are new to my channel, welcome. I'm so happy that you decided to spend some of your YouTube viewing time with me, and I am so appreciative. For those of you who have been with my channel for any length of time, you know that I love designing and making boxes. That's one of my things. So that's what I'm doing this week. I am making simple boxes so that you guys will have oodles of packaging options available to you. And today's box is no different. So this little box is so stinking cute. Look at her. She is just adorable. And it opens at the top and it opens at the bottom. So really, this again is one of those flat fold boxes. When you put it together, you can make these up and just stack them. How easy and convenient is that for gift giving or gift packaging or craft fair packaging, whatever you want to use it for. And like I said yesterday, you change the papers on this. It's good for any season, any reason, any gender, any occasion. This is an all-purpose box and it's got the acetate windows on it. Super easy to make, and I am going to show you exactly how easy it is to make this. Let's get started. So to make our project, we're going to start with a piece that measures 9 3/4 by 12, and on the 9 3/4 side we are going to score at 1 7/8, 4 1/2, 6 3/8, and 9. And then we'll turn it. And on the 12-inch side, we are going to score at 1/2 inch. And at 2 3/8. And then we're going to turn it to the opposite end and do the same thing. We'll score at 1/2 inch. And 2 3/8. And then I'll put my scoreboard away because we won't need it. So then we're going to fold and burnish our score marks. So the burnishing is done and we need to remove some paper. This thin flap here will be the glue flap. So on the glue flap, you're going to have a tall rectangle and then a smaller one. And we're going to get rid of both of these. So I'm going to come back in with my finger blade and go up to the second score mark. So we've got the baby X here, that's 1 score. Go up to the long one, that's 2 scores. And that's where I will pull down from. So I'm going to go up to the second score mark, drag down, and then remove this piece. And I'll turn it on this side and do the same thing. I'll go up to the second score mark and I will remove this piece. So then we need to come back and we're going to free every tab that we have. So I'll go up to the second score mark and I'm going to pull down and I'm just going to free my tabs. Okay, so once we've done that, we are going to flip this over, and on our first tab here, we are going to cut off about to that point, and we'll do the same thing on this one. So let's go ahead and do that. You don't have to put it in the score tool. You can just take your scissors or your finger blade and just remove the excess paper. I clean that up a little bit because I don't want that showing. So then it's going to look like this. So then we're going to come to the flap that's next to our glue flap here, and we are going to trim this down even further. So I'll bring my pen in and show you that we're going to trim down to about this point. So let's go ahead and remove that. And you'll see why I did that in just a moment. So you're going to be left with something that looks like this. So I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite end, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so once we have this like this, we're going to go ahead and come back and do some angle cutting on our tab pieces here. We're not going to do anything with the two long pieces just yet, but on each one of these, we're going to come in and do an angle cut. Nothing too deep, just like that. So I'll do it on the two pieces that I trimmed halfway down. And then on this piece, on that little piece, this one here, I am going to take my glue, put this down, fold this over and glue it in. And that's just giving me a nice finish to the top edges of my box. And I'm going to make sure that I work that glue in very well because I don't want this to be in the way of me closing my box. So I'll come on this end and do the same thing. So I'm just going to place my glue and get that stuck down. And then I'll come back and I am going to angle cut here. Angle cut this little one here. Angle cut this one. And angle cut this one. And the only thing that I'm going to do to the larger ones, on the little fold flaps right here, I am simply going to cut off a tiny little sliver, just like that. And that's just going to help my box to close easier. And when I say a sliver, really, that is a sliver right there. And I'll do the same thing on the opposite end. So I'm just going to cut off my sliver. And now we are ready to place our acetate because we've got a box that is now ready to be put together. So I'm going to flip this over and show you guys exactly how we're going to place the acetate. So this is the back of our box because this is where the glue will go. So the glue flap is here. I'll join it here. That's going to be the back. So these two portions here, right when you turn it over to the front, these are the two that we're going to use to place down our acetate maker. So I'll place one here, and then when I cut it out, I'll move it over and I'll place it here. So if you're starting on the side opposite the glue flap, we're going to go to the first score here and then the second score here, and that's where we'll be placing our piece of chipboard, which measures 3 1/2 by 1 7/8. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this, and we'll get it stuck down. And basically what I'm doing is I am going to try to get this fairly centered on my box. And I'm using my score marks as a guide. So once I get that stuck down, I'm going to make sure that's straight. Let me look at it this way, because sometimes I'll go off and it'll be crooked. And then once we've got it down, I'm just going to come back and carefully cut out my window. And I hope you guys are liking these simple boxes, because box making does not have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be challenging. It should be fun, and at the end you should have a beautiful box. So there, we've got one cut out, just like that. And I'm going to take the same board and just glue it again. And we're going to take that and we're going to place that right over here. And I'm going to try to match that up as best I can with my score mark, but also trying to line that up nice and even. Now, it might not be perfect, but it will be close enough. So I'll come back and do the same thing here. And then I am going to look at that and just cut this out. And just like that, I have got my holes. So now I need to place my acetate. So I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to bring in a piece of acetate that measures 5.5 by 4.5. And with the 5.5 inch side going this way, this is how I'll place it. So the way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to take my glue and run it through the middle. And then I'm going to take it and just run it along the ends all the way around. And then I'll take my acetate and very carefully lay it down. And then I'm going to come back with my bone folder and just push my glue away from the acetate so that I can start helping it to dry. So I'm going to slide that over, and then I'll push this down, and I'll push this down. And I got just a little bit of glue on my acetate, but that's not a problem, because while it's wet, I'll come back with my paper towel and get that up. And then what we need to do right now is allow our glue some time to dry before we try to work with this. So I'm going to give this a couple of minutes and then I'll be back. Alright guys, so I think our glue is dry enough to put this little cutie together, and we are about to do it right now. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to come where the fold lines are on the acetate, and we're going to give this just a very slight bend. We don't want to score the acetate, we're just going to bend it a little bit. And I'll do that on both of my score marks because I want it to fold naturally. And then I'll come back, because I don't want such sharp creases in the acetate. I'm going to come back with my bone folder and just smooth that out some. I want it to be rounded, but I don't want it to be creased with a hard crease. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to take my glue, and this time my glue flap will be on the inside, and I'll take my reptile glue and I am going to place glue on this, and I'm going to get this very well glued because I want my box to stay together. And then I'll take this piece and just bring it over until it meets that, and then I'll start working on this to get it evened out. So I'm just moving it and maneuvering it until it's nice and even at the top and bottom and on the side. And when I think that it is, I'll lay this down. I'll come back inside with my bone folder, and I'm going to get this stuck down. I'm going to try to get inside as far as I can because I want that flap laying down nice and smooth, and that looks pretty good to me. So now what we have is a flat fold box, and when you take it out to use it, just straighten out your acetate, and then here's how we're going to close this. So all we do is fold our flaps, put our bottom in, fold in, put our top in, and just like that, guys, we have got this gorgeous, gorgeous box. I love these colors. They are working for me. So now what I want to do is I'm going to do some very easy decorating to this. I have these wonderful flowers that I found on clearance at Hobby Lobby, and I think that they are truly working for me. So I've got this, and I'm going to make this box more for a birthday. So I'm going to find the flower that I want to use on this. And I think I am going to go with this one. And I am going to use my reptile glue to place this down. And it's not going to be glued all the way down, just enough so that it sticks. And so I'm going to put my bow down using hot glue. And I did get a question about why I wasn't using reptile glue to put down the bow, and the reptile glue will fully secure this bow to this box, no problem. But for the sake of making a video, I want it to be done like right now. And because it's a heavier flower, I would have to wait a second or two longer than I want to wait when I'm making a video. So that's the reason why I chose to use my hot glue instead of my reptile glue. But the reptile glue is what I use when I'm making these off camera because it works for me and it gets the job done. So isn't this box, isn't it cute, guys? Isn't it simple? Isn't it easy? And isn't it something that you want to make? But I've got one more isn't. Isn't it the coolest, the bestest, the easiest box that you'll see today? I think you have to agree. I'm going to bring the other one back in and look at these. Just look at them. They are so stinking cute. They are just all purpose. But these are fun ways in which we can make boxes to give our gifts or to sell our items. These are perfect for any reason that you might use them. So I hope that you guys have liked this video. If you have, please hit the like button. If you are not a subscriber to my channel, I would love to have you join my online crafting family. You guys, have a great day. Happy crafting, and we'll chat later. Bye.